like the question stayed out there, should just Pearly be canceled? And I know Mr. Walker was hitting on something about cancel culture. What's your take on it?
Yeah, no, I hate, and I don't hate nothing for the most part, but I hate cancel culture. No, let people talk. As Poke said, let people speak. Censorship is disgusting today. Allow people to talk. As Poke, I couldn't have said it better myself. If you're gonna give me that racism, give it up front and close. You understand? Some of my good friends, I used to think, we're racist. We all we gotta stop the cat. I'm gonna give it to y'all straight up. We all a little racist, but there's no place for bigotry or hate. Racism, if yet it's all a race. So many people have broke this down. We all at the finish line. We trying to finish this race, and ain't nobody trying to finish at the same time. Every race is trying to win. There's just no place for hate or bigotry in this race. And people like the goofy, Italian Irish or Italian whatever guy, he comes off as a bigot, or he is a bigot. So that's the issue. But yeah, give it, like Pope said, give me my racism right up in my face so I can know what to do with it. But that behind your back stuff, that'll get you ended.
Hey, you rather have an honest racist than a false one, then. You feel me? Just let them
Yeah.
talk. Hey, we in
know.
America. Hey, Willie, we in America. Freedom of speech, like you said. Let them talk. Let them talk. Because now you know who you're dealing with. Now you know who you're dealing with.
Now I can adjust to that. Yes, sir. Heck shit.
I agree. Now you come in my face with it, that's a whole different thing. You can go over there, you talk all you want, but yeah, let them talk. Let them talk.
Yeah, I think that as far as the outrage around Big Pearl, I think is very sensitive. I think it's very sensitive. As y'all know, I'm not a sensitive person in the slightest. Let her have whoever she want up there. As far as understanding why people may be upset, I get it. I get why her black friends will be upset if they're sensitive. We got to understand the society that we living in, and most people are sensitive. So it's very easy to lash out at her.
Hey, just don't invite her to the cookout.
That's all.
Hey, take the information. Yeah, hey, take the information you can take from her, and then that's it. That's what it is. Hey, she never spoke to me, so
I'm sorry. I cannot respect the idea of her, picking up the Kevin Samuels torch. That's where I think she is the most extreme culture vulture of all time to me, because that's just sick. How in the world did we get someone of the opposite sex and a different race come in and pick up this torch? I think it's insulting to Kev's work. To say that she's speaking facts, she's holding women accountable. Yes, she is. But to put her on this pedestal and now say, oh, now we got to cancel her because she didn't withhold the standard. No, I think that's crap. Let her do her.
It's crazy. I don't see her up. I mean, she's definitely up there, but I feel like so many people took on the torch. Andrew Tate, you got the 8 at the table. You got, what's the one black dude's name? The 2 dudes from ATL. Like everybody's inspired by him right now.
Yeah, angry man, Anton Daniels.
Yeah, I just feel like everybody's inspired by him. Even women are inspired. By
him.
But
two things is true. None of them people you name got even close to 1 million subscribers. It's the gravitas. You gotta understand.
There you go.
I mean, this space, Mr. Whitty. 1 million subs. Kevin Samuels was the only one to ever do it. Kevin Samuels the only man in this space to ever get 1 million subscribers, even close. Outside, I mean, she took that torch in.
Yeah.
And she got more subscribers than he had. So
I'm not surprised at that though, because you see that with an Eminem versus, you know what I mean? Like Eminem's white, so he's gonna come out and get more fans. You know what I mean? I don't know if Africa might not have Wi-Fi.
I understand how it works. We got my man, correct me if I'm wrong, in the building. I know you got something to say down there, man. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm all right. Sorry I'm late. I just got off the plantation, though,
man, it's an honor. You can just make it here anytime, man.
My man.
Hey, one more other thing. Candace Owens, she get a lot of heat from us saying what she's saying, but she not saying anything different when we're just Pearly saying, just Pearly, just a different color. And she getting pushed more.
That's true.
Yeah, because us as black folks, we critical of Candace Owens. We say that she sell out, blah blah blah.
Have a
But then you
friend
look at what
who's
Just
of
Pearly,
another
she says the
race.
same things that Candace Owens says, but
Candace go a little far, man. Candace go a little far.
She is extreme. She is extreme, and yeah, it's like she says some things. I'm definitely not. I'm not a supporter really of anyone, but you can just take the information that you can from each one, yeah. Because, like you said, us as men, women don't speak for me as a man. So
I like Pearly things for the reason of she points out women not being accountable.
Exactly.
That's what I like about her. You know what I'm saying? But white women hate her. They absolutely. If you go to her, if you go to her, her, I know a lot of her. She kept saying a lot of her TikToks kept being taken down. But if you go and look at any of them comments, like them white women absolutely hate her. They can't stand her. So she don't get no love nowhere for real. Besides,
why is that though? Why do they hate her?
Because they're telling she's saying things that they don't like.
Nah, that's not why.
Why you think it is?
They hate her because she's good looking. And to us, Candace Owens ain't the best looking woman, but she's good enough looking, and they can't stand a good. They like they black woman fat and ugly.
She is not attractive.
Yeah, definitely. Like to us,
I don't think either one is attractive.
No. Understand what I'm saying. To us, she ain't that good looking.
Well, I feel like they dislike her because she's making them be accountable for certain things.
Who we speaking about? I think, Poke, you speaking about Candace Owens.
Yeah.
Candace Owens ain't bad looking.
I'm just saying that's why the white women hate Candace Owens so much because she's a good looking woman.
The white women, they hate Pearly things, whatever her name is, who has that show. What's her name?
Oh, okay.
Just Pearly.
Okay. Yeah, they hate her.
They really do.
It's the opposite for Candace Owens. The black women hate Candace Owens, but the white women love her. So it's like the opposite. Then they just flip.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, they talk about the same thing. It's just a flip. Then so hey, that's the world we live in. But hey, take the information from what it can do for you, and just move on from there. Then
all of that my African stuff. Like I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about right now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't work hard enough. She one of them. We need to pull ourselves up by the bootstrap type bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right. So, and that's her personality. I can see.
Yeah, she's just not the person to deliver that message. Do we need to get her? Yeah, we do need to get ourselves.
We're gonna deep dive real quick and pull this guy up. We want to see who is this guy she had on her show. So we'll learn a little bit about this gentleman and see should she have had him on the show.
Just Pearly things is just as responsible or culpable as the person who said it. Now, who is the person that said it? This is Mr. Nick Fuentes. Again, alleged white supremacist, white nationalist, who, by the way, is mixed with Hispanic and Italian. That's an interesting mix for a person who's a white nationalist. But you know what? The guy is not that smart. That's very clear, and I'm going to keep saying it. He's not an intelligent person whatsoever. He can't really articulate his ideas very well. He's socially awkward. His IQ, I would assume, is probably below 80. Like, mentally unstable. So the fact that somebody would bring him onto the podcast is almost the same reason why you would bring Charleston White to the podcast. Now, Charleston White is much more smarter than this guy, but you know that Charleston White is going to say something that at some point in the podcast, others would term to be or say is going to be ridiculous, which is going to help you trend and get more views. Same thing with Andrew Tate. You know they're going to say something that somebody will say is going to be ridiculous. Nick Fuentes is no different. He's going to say or do something that is ridiculous. And in the case of being a white racist, he's going to say something that is going to be ridiculously racist. Now, let's go ahead and match up the statistics here. Just Pearly Things has a lot of people, I don't know how many, who are black. Now, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews talked about it on his video, which I'll get into another time. But he went to London and he said a lot of your people are black. So Just Pearly Things knows that her employees are black.
But there we go. A little bit of it thus far. You know, and the question down there says, should Pearly be canceled? Like that. Poke, we bring you in. What you got, brother?
Okay, so all right, I didn't realize. So that dude Nick Fuentes, like I'm very, very familiar with him. Now, okay. Now things is making sense. And dude is absolutely right. Like he's an absolute troll. So if you bring Nick into your studio or your show, you know for sure he's gonna say racist stuff. Like he don't hold back at all. But again, though, again, and I can't get beyond this. My whole thing is, what why did we think that she was above that? Like what made us think that she was so much above that? I don't understand why I don't understand why we would be upset with her in any type of way. In any type of way. Like, what is she like? Just because her staff is black, we thought that like she don't share these type of views and stuff. So I'm just, what I'm trying to say is I'm not shocked at all that she feels that way. But the bottom line is she's still spreading the same exact information that we've been spreading. Well, so it's like, you know what I mean? I don't care. Let me say this. Like one thing about white supremacy, one thing about Trumpers and political conservatives, they stay on code. They can have different religions, they can have different viewpoints on all kind of other stuff, as long as they're on the same code about this one particular thing. So we gotta learn how to be the same type of way. As long as she's on code with us about this one particular thing, why do we care so much about if she don't like us or not? Who cares? Who gives a shit?
Right. When she was on there, she said how much she loved Ben Shapiro. That's when I was like, okay, so you love Ben Shapiro, you got him on your show. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did say that.
Yeah, I mean, she's exposed at this point. Like I came on here real gullible and like I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on. But now I'm like, oh shit, okay. So she's exposed, no doubt about it. She's exposed. Right. But she's still been championing for us.
That's true.
Am I wrong?
That's true. Is that possible? Can she talk about she loved this guy? So can she love a troll, racist bigot and be a champion for black folks? Is that possible?
As long as she can make a bag off it.
I ain't know she get to a bag. Her strategy is on point. Obviously, her bank account shows it. And I can't get past the sensitivity. Well, I agree. I don't understand why people are so sensitive about it. But I don't think she could be a champion for black folks and talking about she loves this individual. I don't think they go hand in hand.
She just didn't get no pushback, really. She didn't get no pushback or challenge them. That's the whole thing. Let them talk. But she was just sitting there like, hey, that's funny.
There you go. If we was up on this panel and we had the goofy dude up here and we just all let him talk and say his stuff and we
all like suckers.
And we would be suckers for sure.
But he wouldn't get away. He wouldn't get away with that over here, though. He already know that, though.
Oh no, not in hell. But I get why. Like just Pearly, I was called a big Pearly. Just Pearly, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. As a matter of fact, I respect her tactics and antics. Everything on social media today is about extremes. It's either got to be extremely funny, extremely exciting, or extremely stupid. And so any extreme works. So bringing up some crazy troll white nationalists, how can it hurt? Especially when she could turn around and apologize and be right back in, sensitive people's good graces.
Wait, did I miss something? Did she apologize?
Yes. So that came out today.
Okay. Holy shit.
She bent the knee. All right.
I didn't see that coming. I didn't.
Hey, can I make one quick point, guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but again, my brother, I think it was Gavin, he mentioned the fact that Trump got elected president, but he famously said he grabs women by the vagina and all this stuff, like, you right? But in that moment, did white women say, you know what, we're voting for Hillary Clinton to be the first white president? No, they didn't. You know why? Because Trump was on board with white supremacy. So they said, you know what, even though you're a sexist and even though you don't mess with women all that much, you are on board with white supremacy. And so for that, I'm going to stay on code and I'm going to vote for you. Now, that should be a lesson to us. especially black men. We're the least heard people in America. So for somebody that has a platform and it reaches 2 million people, I almost don't give a damn as long as she's trying to get this message across to people that treat us a little bit better as far as these relationships goes. I don't care if she's racist. I almost assumed she was racist before I ever seen this video. Like I'm not disappointed that she's racist. I'm not disappointed. So I'm just saying, like, we need to learn codes too, man. Like if somebody is using their platform to accelerate our agenda, we shouldn't be so sensitive about this shit, man. Who cares?
There you go.
That's just my thoughts.
I agree. Like I agree. Like when it said in the beginning, we need to start controlling our own media and start grabbing the bull by the horns instead of always running in the victim Olympics. All right, people sitting here because at the end of the day, Pearly is, like I said, she over in the UK with a studio full of people from the UK, Nigeria. These are not, and they're talking about black issues in America. They're not talking about they're talking about the stuff that goes on here in the mating and dating market, and black folks in particular. So you got a room full of people that they ain't from this country. They hardly know what goes on, but they're the go-to people for people to listen to about our relationships.
I mean, but it's not hard for her to do that because America is nothing but an entertainment center as it is. You look at America as a whole. Other countries look at us as druggies. You know what I'm saying? We're the most prescribed people on earth. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to just doctors prescribing us stuff, they look at us as junkies. They look at our TV shows. They look at everything. America is nothing but pure entertainment in to begin with. So it's not hard for her to create some overseas about America because that's how the rest of the world sees us, to be honest with you. Africa and Europe, like they see us like this. It's no different. So, we see ourselves one way, but really we're advertised to the world a whole nother way. And that's the way they see us. And this is reality. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing but a shit show. So can't really be mad at that either.
And I still think it's wild that we think that our issues is the only thing that she's focused on. I never took it that way. I figured she was just talking to the entire modern woman mentality, which is white, black, the entire generation of our mothers down is this whole feminism, modern women are young until they're old. You know what I mean? Like, so I never took it as she was the face of black at all. I'm like Poke. I'm not surprised at all. I do hold her accountable for not having somebody to go against him, but I don't see her as the face for us. We might be the bulk of who she views, but my algorithm don't show me nothing but her talking about women need to be more accountable and how women are 80 to 90% of the ones who file for divorce. They're the ones who are screaming unhappy. I never seen her talk about anything other than relationships, and I feel like it's pretty much based off of what every man's dealing with women now. So I don't see it like that,
So here we are. So here we are to hit on DUI 285. He says, well, why the white men ain't let her in the white manosphere? And that's sort of I guess that's the overall thing is because this is a lane within itself on YouTube that is a big lane, like we're hitting on the whole Kevin Samuels thing. And it's not that she's speaking to the black community in particular, because like you said, it can go across any race, any demographic. It's the fact that the algorithm has made her the face. And that's why I hit on it. People need to stop complaining, grab the bull by the horns. It's not about canceling her. How about we balance this out and more people start creating content or shut up about it? Can't be complaining about what she's doing. That's her business. It's a business for her. Like I said, she drops 60 videos a day.
That's insane.
Don't nobody do that shit. We create content. We know how hard this shit is. She got a whole team behind her. She ain't doing that shit by herself.
I don't make 60 in a year. Shit.
See what I'm saying? She's dropping 60 videos a day. And the algorithm loves her. It's gonna keep feeding her to people. Who? Black people in particular.
I think to answer the homie's question of why white men haven't let her into the strat, I don't think she fits the agenda. The agenda is to make men weak. Is you know what I mean? I think there's an entire and it's not just black men. They've been doing that to us since slavery. I think it's to make the entire male race weak, to look up to women, to make women stronger. You know what I mean? So I don't think she fits that agenda. Her, Andrew Tate, or anybody else spewing that same message. I don't think it's, you know what I mean? That's why I don't think anybody lets her in.
I think that they did let her in. You know what I mean? When you think about overall, again, look at her platform. You're not getting nowhere without going through the white man. They're going to open that door, and they open that door for her to have this show, to have this platform. If she was black, I'm not going to say she wouldn't have the same platform, but I don't think it'd be, as big. I mean, let's take a black woman who's making 60 videos a day, same thing that she doing. I think you still, at the end of the day, have to go through this white man. They're going to easily slow down her algorithm, or they open the gates up for, let's go ahead and keep feeding these people. It's a part of, to me, the overall agenda of having people be entertained by her platform. So to me, they have let her in from just a different perspective.
And that goes to a real quick, Poke, I'll let you in. It goes to a larger point, just to double back what he said, why they let her in. Because there are people who sort of hold themselves and say they're traditional, if you will, right? To where we say women shouldn't be preaching in church, right? And then somebody else said earlier in the comments where they said Kevin Samuels would never allow a woman to speak, especially a woman from a different culture, to speak on these issues. And I guess people are coming from that angle, is where she's sort of out of pocket. Like, she should not be the messenger. But like Donnell said, like we all saying, is what it is. People gonna consume it. It's just it's a catch-22, if you will, man. So Poke, I'll let you go. You can get in here, Mr. Diz, after him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to say, like, I agree with what D. McKenzie was saying. By the way, is that DJ from Midland? Okay, my bad.
No, sir.
My bad. But I agree with what that brother was saying. I feel like she was lit into white society to a certain degree. When you have 2 million followers, like, yeah, you're in white society as well. But I will say this though, she isn't felt by white society the same way she's felt by black society, because the white woman is still getting married. The black woman is the one that's not getting married, and the black woman is the one that's struggling from all these issues. So they're going to feel it the absolute most. So right there, I feel like that's the difference right there. Like to white people, it's like, what is she talking about? Because we're still underpaid than our white counterpart for doing the same exact job. But in our community, our woman is overpaid for doing the same exact job. And so we have a family imbalance, and we are at odds at each other, and we're getting divorced and not marrying just because of money. So what she is saying makes a 1,000% sense to the black community. It don't make 1,000% sense to the white community.
Makes sense.
And that's true. That's very true. That's a great point.
That's a good shit, Poke.
But to take it, what he's saying is, and we all know what he's saying, but like for the viewers in a sense, so like we talk about these white supremacists, and I'm not saying she's a white supremacist, but again, we just talked about how they stick together. So because she's aligned, to me, she didn't really give any backlash. I'm not saying she racist yet again, but you allowed us to be on your talk show. You didn't give any backlash. So I got a conclusion that you somewhat agree with this here. So again, you're allowed this platform because you overall believe in this. So we're going to give you this platform. You can go ahead and bat for them, but at the end of the day, we know your true roots. So I'm just saying, like, it's possible that because she's a part of that supremacist group, she don't display it like, how we think the original supremacists is going to display it, as in, oh yeah, this and that thing, all that other stuff. She might be undercover, behind the scene, come out when needed type of supremacist. But then again, that's why I think she's kind of allowed that platform.
Come on, Big Nasty. Let's call a spade a spade. She is what she. We don't got to say. I'm not saying she ain't this. She is what she is, man.
Hey,
they definitely got behind her then, because think about it, man. She got old boy on that show, man. And so they definitely dropped some pounds on her then from the UK then. So she got the machine behind her. So
hey, I'm gonna tell y'all just like this, man. Most of us are content creators. Okay. If you could have Nick Winters on your show, you would too. See, so that's the thing. Now the only thing is you would have some pushback to him. And that's really it. But as far as having him on the show, fellas, that's not a freaking big deal, man. If I can have that dude on my show, I'm getting on my show for sure. And guess what else? If I was negotiating with him and he was like, you know what? Don't be coming back at me like you did with that last Trumper. I would say no problem.
Well,
No
I think
problem.
it's more about yeah, come to the show, but I think it's
No.
about
Do you know why though, Willie? You know why, bro? Like to a certain degree, our people need to hear people talk.
absolutely,
Just let them talk, man. Like
absolutely.
what's the point in saying no? I don't want to hear this. Let them talk so that you can understand how your coworker behaves, how your
So
next door neighbor behaves.
Cole,
Everything
let me
don't
ask you
gotta be a
this.
debate. Everything don't gotta be an argument, man.
Look,
You want to make them comfortable so they can talk, man.
For
but
real.
overall, I'm sure that if he came to your show, it's not going. It don't even have to be combative. It's more so going to be educational. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're right because I've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It'd have been
like,
dope to
of
do that.
course, I'm gonna open that door to anybody, no matter if you're supremacist or Black
Educational
Panther.
as far as
You
how.
know, it's going to be a more of an educational stance from, I'm sure, your side or one of our sides here. We can chew you up in an educated, fashionable way. You know what I mean? It ain't got to be, I'm about to cut your ear off because you supremacist. No, I like that type of talk.
But see,
Let's
my
come
my
on
my
in.
thing is they already fucking know, and I feel like they love to get on our type of shit or have us go back and forth and debate shit. Like they get off on that shit. They already know what the fuck it is. There's no point for me to be on your to be on your show, you to be on my show. We already know what the fuck it is and what you represent. And if you don't, I don't know, motherfucker, you've been living under a rock or some type of goddamn shit. But I'm not about to give you the satisfaction of me, or whoever else getting all angry and sweating and shit because this motherfucker talking his white supremacy talking points, and you know what I mean. You all frustrated. Fuck all of that shit. I don't. The only reason I can say myself doing it is maybe for the numbers, but even with that, it's just like
that's all it's all about. It's all about the numbers.
Okay. Well, there you go. Like I said, we're all content creators for your own numbers. Listen, this Nick Quintas, he's a big deal. For your own numbers, that would be great for your own numbers. But again, like I said, if we're negotiating, he was like, "Listen, folks, you can't be coming back on me and pushing on me." I'll be like, "Cool."
You know, it'd have been dope if they would have had Charleston White on there with him too, though. That would have been pretty dope right there. To see how that interaction would have been.
y'all like Charleston? Are y'all fans of Charleston?
No,
I like
You don't like Charleston?
I like him. I like Charleston.
Charleston got some valid points.
When he talking about something, but he just running his mouth, just like
I think he's necessary. He's a necessary evil.
There you go. Yeah, some people are just necessary. I would like to have a cup of coffee with a lot of people, but some people are necessary. Like we talked about having white supremacists up on shows. It don't necessarily feel good, but it's necessary. Let's hear them out, hear what they got to say.
Well, the thing is, Charleston, he has a lot of valid points. Let me be honest with you. I mean, I don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of what he does says about us black men is very well true. Like, for instance, we just had the killing down in Florida. Who was that? Who got? I don't know. Anyway, bump that. Why is George Zimmerman still? Oh, that was 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine walked street finally get beat up, right? But why George Zimmerman still walking these streets? Us black men should have been down there and stumped on this nigga head. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to some points of Charleston, I agree with some of it, but like you said, when you get talk about the bull crap that don't make no sense and all that, not cool. But when he making some factual things about these so-called thugs in the streets, we so quick to kill one another, but we ain't so quick to stand up for one another. That's what we need to do. That's where we miss. That's what we're missing. The key piece.
We can say the same thing for Candace Owens, right? Like we all dislike her, but a lot of times she says shit that I'd be like,
Very true. Very true.
The sensitivity. Hence the question on this topic: should Pearly be canceled? The answer is hell no. She should nobody be canceled. Let people say what they gotta say.
Freedom of speech.
So yes. Let me ask this. I'll go around and ask everybody this question before we move on to the next topic. All right. Because if you consume her content and if you don't like what she said, just stop watching. That's just how life works. You ain't forced to watch her. Right. So my question is to the people who are actually close to her. Like I said, she has some of her closest friends, her employees, and just other people she does content creation with. These are all black folks. And some of these people are like, oh, maybe you should apologize, do this. But my question is, all of us got friends of different cultures, right? Should we expect them to have our same expectations or same values? Or simply like, all right, we cool, but when I ain't hanging out with you, I'm sure you do your own thing and you probably believe this, but we can align on some things. Or do you expect them to believe everything you believe?
Fuck
Because that's
no.
how they approaching Pearly. Like, how could she do this? I thought she was blackity black, but it's like,
Gavin, what culture are you speaking of that we have? First of all,
well,
Well,
you
no,
know why
he's
I
saying
said well, a lot of
we
this
got, we
guy
got
know
friends
you.
of, so we got friends of different cultures. I got a good friend, one of my real good friends, Bill. He's a big fat white German dude. Good friend. When I first met him, I thought he was a raging a-hole. He all into politics, he was Trump, but the same guy that was talking all this, Trump stuff, and back then, I was vote blue no matter who. And he was talking all this mess, and the same, proud white German man chewing tobacco, driving rigs, said that Planned Parenthood was the worst thing on earth. And I said, "What are you talking about, Bill?" He
that's
said, "You
true.
can't tell." He said, "You can't tell. This. I'm telling. Understand the source where it came from. We talk about racism. He a proud German man." He said, "Planned Parenthood." He said, "You can't tell me that if Planned Parenthood went around, we wouldn't have more Michael Jordans, more Barack Obamas, more LeBron James." He said, Planned Parenthood kills so many black babies ain't even funny, and that's facts. This coming from a Trump supporting Republican. So that's why I say let people talk, and to get a better understanding, as Witted said, get a better understanding, listen to people of different cultures. No, we don't expect them to have our same values wholeheartedly. They can't, especially if they have different cultures. It makes no sense.
Very true, Willie. I mean, look where they placed the Planned Parenthood's at. I mean, that's a key giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
Dead giveaway.
But yeah, we can't expect people of different cultures not to be able to speak freely and say how they feel. Lord knows I say what the hell I want to say.
So I guess that was a unanimous no. I like you said, Wood, I know you got stuff you wanted to say, but like I said, do we expect our friends from different cultures to align with us on everything? If you had a friend, if Pearly was your friend, would you be mad at her? You know what I mean? Along them lines.
I don't expect nothing from nobody, so I don't expect nobody, even a black person, to understand where I'm coming from. Because honestly, a lot of black people don't when it comes to certain topics. So I have no expectation of anybody.
Listen, I went to Hopewell, so I got hip to this shit early than the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was able to figure out how they, not all, but how they think, how they operate, what they think about us. So it's like this shit like this is not a surprise to me. You know what I mean? So
see, yeah, I feel differently. I do have expectations for you. Like if you've never been through something, don't speak on it until you've done your homework or until we've talked about it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ain't never been to prison, you can't be out here giving advice on prison and all. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't never been in the streets, you can't talk that. You know what I'm saying? If you never had cancer, you and people don't do that. Well, people do, but if you a homie with me and you know nothing about race, you better not be online spewing all of these details unless you've done your research, unless we've talked. Like, get to the root of it first and then talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got one time to slip up, but then we got to talk after that. Like, bro, like you say you got love for me, but you talking about black issues, but you ain't done no homework. You ain't talked to me. You really don't care that much to do the homework, but you talking about it. You a op to me? Like you so mad at Kaepernick, but you don't even know why he really knelt? That's my expectation. Like, do your research. Let's talk.
it just lets Seth, it just tells me like, how cool are y'all for real? That's what it boils down to for me. How much are y'all really for real friends?
Right. We're not. If you step over that line, we're most likely not.
But I'm gonna say you like this real quick. Like I experienced something, and I knew before I'd even experienced it that at the end of the day, and this is not just for white people, but this is for anyone outside the black culture. Whenever your back is against the wall, it's always going to be them. It's never going to be us. They're not going to choose us over them. They're not going to choose us over anything other besides them and their people. I can tell you that right now. I had a good friend of mine, still to this day. I still consider him a good friend, but I know where we stand. We was in the conversation, me, him, another black brother of mine, and another white dude sitting in the office. But it's two white dudes, two black dudes, and we talking about police this, that, and the other. He got a police flag in his yard. I ain't got no problem with that. That's cool. But the question came down to, bro, listen, if shit gets real, it hits the street, and what we fighting for, what side you on? And you know what he said was, I mean, shit, he ran around it for a few, and he said, well, shit, I got to stand on my side. So regardless of, even if they know what we fighting for, they still gonna stick within their own. I can tell you that right now. At the end of the day, so if you can be best friends with this dude, he can grew up with you and adopted in your family. At the end of the day, he's gonna choose his side of the fence. I can tell you that now.
As he should.
Right.
ain't
We
mad
don't
at
do
that.
that.
What they should
We
do.
should start doing that.
I mean, why would you want to be a part of the opposition?
Facts.
I mean, no, don't get it fucked up. There are some of the dominant society that will ride with us. You know what I'm saying? There are some that are like that.
You're right.
I would say for the majority, it's expected for you to stick with what you know.
But if you're the dominating side, it will be kind of obsolete for you to be like, let me go see what it's like on the other side and it's weaker.
But we've seen that before already in the past. You know what I'm saying? We've seen people from the dominant society come over and really try to help out black people.
You want to be in it? You want to be in it?
I tell you what, before this subject go on, I think one of the things we really need to do is learn from Pearly, to be honest. Like, I want to know what that whole blueprint is. Like, how many videos you putting out today? Like, how are you delegating tasks? What's the budget? What's your 12-month plan? I think a lot of times we'll see what she's doing, who her audience is, and we get mad and we'll say, oh, man, they pushing her or they letting her in. Why not us? I want to see what's going on behind the door. I want to know what the business plan is. You know what I mean? How much of the algorithm do you know? How have you cracked it? Like, you know what I'm saying?
At 26 years old.
And how big is her goddamn team?
Right. I want to know all of that because, yes, race does play a role, but some people, and this is her personality, is to push forward, be strategic, be more strategic, and push forward. And we got to learn from whatever her strategy is. We got to learn from that shit.
Yeah, she's not an idiot. That's for sure.